right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. And today I want to talk about this article. It's a New York Times article that I just came across. I haven't read it in its entirety. I kind of skimmed through it, but and I'll keep looking through it as I make this video. But what I did read just did not sit right with me. Okay. So the title says we surveyed 1,320 therapists, and the news isn't good. Surprise. What are you talking about? Anyway, that's probably anybody else out there that's a therapist or a counselor or any kind of mental health professional will probably find it laughable that people are anxious, overwhelmed, burned out, and stuck, and that they had to survey 1,300,000 therapists to find that out. So now that you know how I feel about that, here's my real issue. Um, so, what they did is they used Psychology Today is a website, and they have something on their website called a Find a Therapist list. So you can use this list to find like a therapist in your area. So they use the therapist attached to the Psychology Today list, and they sent a survey out to them. And here's what they said: the response was overwhelming, and the answers paint a bleak picture about the state of mental health in America. 9 out of 10 therapists say the number of clients seeking care is on the rise, a surge in calls, longer waiting lists, and difficulty meeting patient demand. And while I don't disagree with this, I think that's absolutely the case. Here's my first problem with this. My first problem with this is that these are private clinicians that they sent this um, survey out to. And I'm not saying anything negative about private practice because I work in private practice. I think private practice is a wonderful resource when you have the resources. Which brings me to my second problem. The state of mental health in America has been overwhelming. The lack of available professionals, the lack of resources, um, the surges in appointments, long waiting lists. Like, this has been the case forever. Long before I worked in private practice, I worked in community mental health. And community mental health, I don't even know if you can cuss on here, but I'm just going to say it, it's a shit show. Um, I live in an area where one particular agency, I guess they call themselves a nonprofit agency, but I'll leave that. I'll stop that there. One particular agency for a very long time has monopolized mental health treatment in the area, and anybody who okay, better, like my baby says. Anyway, um, damn, where was I at? Boom. Okay. So I'm talking about this agency in my region who has monopolized mental health and substance abuse treatment. They are one of very few agencies in the area that accept state insurance. People who don't have private insurance and can pay private clinicians, like the ones on Psychology Today's list, or don't have the resources to pay out of pocket prices because they're it's high. It's not cheap. It's not a cheap thing. And you know, to get into the psychiatrist at this place is good luck, right? People have to show up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and stand in line no matter what the weather is to hope that they get a walk-in appointment to even get a mental health assessment. And even further than that, you're rolling the dice to see if you get quality treatment because the system itself that the agency operates under is so problematic that the turnover rate is ridiculous, and any qualified professionals that they have are either burned out, jaded, or they're gone. um, and so what you find is that people's experiences, and not just at this agency, I'm just using this agency as an example. um, But people's experiences with community mental health, which are the more accessible forms of mental health for people who don't really have the means or the resources, um, it's been taxed. People have been anxious and overwhelmed and burned out, and they also don't have the ability um, to seek out quality care for the problem. And so here's the gist of what I'm saying. My big issue with this New York Times article is that it is. I feel like we only acknowledge a problem when it becomes mainstream, right? People who work in the community and do community work, who are like down in the trenches, working with people who have been impacted by these issues, we are not acknowledged. We aren't paid well. The problems aren't fixed. Everything, we just kind of put a band aid over all of it. The resources are just not up to par, you know. And so we have this problem sort of perpetuated and perpetuated. We victim blame. We say that it's people's fault that they can't kind of crawl out from underneath these crappy resources and problematic systems. But all of a sudden, anxiety, what does it say? Former patients have returned for care. New clients are seeking therapy for the first time for anxiety, relationship problems, racial justice issues, financial stress, and other issues that have surfaced during the upheaval of the past 18 months. Like, 18 months, really? This upheaval has been there. And while the positive side of it is that mental health is more normalized, and I think the bigger the problem becomes, the more resources will be aimed at not just putting a band-aid over it, but actually doing something about people's experiences and how it impacts their life and their functioning. um, I just can't help but feel slightly I guess disrespected, or no, I don't know if disrespected is the word. I can't help but recognize that people who have been experiencing these problems forever just pretty much been disregarded. Um, so if we really want to do something about what's happening, and I think I just said this in another video, if we really want to do something about the mental health crisis, then we have to get to the root of it. Like, yeah, mental health professionals can help people cope better, but if the stressors just keep happening, you're going to keep having to find new ways and innovative ways to cope with it, as opposed to fixing what is causing the stress. So, yeah, New York Times, I hate to tell you, but this isn't news. Maybe it is because the problem is more mainstream and more normalized, and I guess it's becoming a bigger problem, but it ain't news, baby. So comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Go and read this article. I'm gonna put it in down below in the video. So read this article, and you guys tell me what you think about it.